A very good evening and welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Owino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. And luckily enough, I've been visited by one of the prominent leaders in Kenya. For those who do not know him, I'll give him time to introduce himself because I cannot introduce him. He knows himself more than I know him, so I'll give him time to introduce himself, and then we come back to our discussion. Mr.
Yes.
Welcome.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Stephen Oko. I'm the chairman of the independent candidates, the former presidential aspirant 2022, and also presidential aspirant 2027. Thank you.
Okay, just there. Before we talk about what we want to talk about, we just said here that you are presidential candidate in 2022. And right now you are talking about the independents. Yeah. And you're going as an independent candidate.
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the independent candidates. Mm-hmm. And we have not decided from a party. Mm-hmm. So I'm still independent.
So it's the same ticket that you used back in 2022?
That's right.
So what happened? Can you just give us a brief story of what happened back in 2022? Because a lot of people, maybe some people do not know that you vied for the presidency in 2022 because, you know, last time people were concentrating on William Ruto and Raila Odinga. So these are the candidates. People did not know them.
No, there was a deliberate conspiracy by the powers then.
Okay.
They didn't want so many presidential aspirants on the ballot because I think the government of that time was so much concentrated. They wanted their candidate to win. And then there was a fear that if we had so many candidates, there was a possibility of us causing a rerun. And then if there was a rerun, they knew Dr. Samuel Ruto could buy everybody else to support him. So that was the fear. So it was the deliberate attempt to knock most of the candidates using technical means. And that's why for the first time in history, we had only 4 presidential aspirant candidates. We went even to the Supreme Court, but it was not possible because it was already a scheme.
So you were knocked out before the D-Day?
Yeah, we were knocked out. They putting the hurdles one after the other, the hurdles after one the other. You see, remember all the other aspirants, like even those who are in the parties, like Okurokot, Wairia, Kagame, Stephen Oko, and so on. All this was deliberate. It was with the purpose to make sure that nobody's on the ballot. And the 2 who were left from the 2 antagonists were left there for a purpose. Let's say my friend Reverend Wahiga was put there because Ruto had infiltrated the church. Okay. So him being a bishop, they thought he could get some votes from the church. So that's why he was left. Wajakoya had also infiltrated a lot of the youth now. And now with the hustler movement, with Jawakoya being left there, was to get a chunk of the youth. So they were designed to get a chunk of the vote that were going for the hustler. So it was by design.
So in short, you were removed and then these people were left simply because they wanted these votes to be divided.
Yeah, they wanted the ones who were left were there to serve the interest of the state by then.
Of the state by then.
Yes.
So what made you not feel like maybe after being left out deliberately, what made you not maybe decide maybe to support Raila Odinga or go run behind William Ruto by then, or maybe Wajakoya?
Raila Odinga and Ruto are birds of the same feathers. They have the KANU DNA. You remember Raila was a Secretary General of KANU. Yeah. Ruto was a Secretary General of KANU. So their upbringing, their political upbringing and DNA is one and the same. And the vision they had for this country was about self-preservation. They wanted power because getting power means it's our time to eat. Yeah. Getting power for them is like they want to manage the resources and the taxes, which is they call it national care.
Yeah, the national care. Yeah.
So to them it's about looting the resources, not about serving the mwananchi. And my conscience and the vision that I had could not mix with them, neither join them.
So that is why you decided that, okay, if you decided now that we cannot participate in this, let us go back with our votes, because automatically you went back with your votes.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that, that for the first time in history, there were 8 million out of the 22 who did not vote. That's around 8 million. That's a big percentage. These 8 million were dissatisfied voters who did not find hope aspiration and their dreams that could be met among the candidates who are there. That's right. So they didn't vote because some of us were not on the ballot. Yeah.
So just a quick one before now we major into what we want to talk about. You say that you are aspiring again to become one of the presidential candidates coming 2027, in which this is one of the elections that is going to be very easy and again very technical, because remember, we have got the Gen Zs on the ballot. We don't know whether William Ruto will come back again, and if he comes back, we don't know whether people will elect him. So you are going now at a critical time where there are a lot of things that people are going to reconsider or to consider before they elect anybody. What makes you think that you're going to make it?
The problems of this country that were there in 1960s. We declared war on poverty, ignorance, and disease. Those problems has become dire. As the 60 years, the problems are dire. They have not been solved. And this is the problem they're still having. We talk about the Gen Zs. The problem their fathers face is what they are facing now. And because these problems are not being solved, and I have the answers to these problems. That's why I feel very confident that the president is mine to lose. Yes.
So now that is an overview of maybe your aspiration. Now I want us to jump into now the reasons why now you decided to buy. And looking at your profile, I'm seeing that you have got around let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around seven manifestos that you are going to do. Let us start with number 1, the free education up to the university level. And talking about the free education, how do you intend to handle this in case you are elected to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, based on how our president William Ruto promised people that is going to give them education, and then all of a sudden he changed his mind?
What we have perfected in this country is the politics of deception and lies.
Yeah.
That's the problem that we have. And this used to blackmail the electorate. They blackmail them, they sweat them, talk them, because what they want is to achieve power. And once they get there, they're very clueless. That's why they cannot follow on what they're talking about. There's whatever their manifesto is, what we call sound bites and slogans. And they run elections based on that, like Ohasla, Bele Iko Tayari, those kind of slogans. Yes. Which does not have the right answers to the problems. Now, we have to look, the reason why I'm running is the question should be, why are you running? I'm running because of the problems we have in this country, which as I've identified. Number 1, we have problem with education. We have problem with health. We have problem with
jobs,
employment. With poverty rather. We have problem with debts. Yes. And then we have problem with
the federal states.
We see the county is talking about give us money, everything. You see, there's a problem that is there. And then we have problem because we are a consumer nation. We are not a producer nation. Now, those are the challenges that I want to handle. Because if things continue like this, we are already enslaved, and we will continue to be enslaved. And so somebody has to say, this must stop. So those are the reasons why I'm running. And if you want me to start with free education I think the question would be, how are you going to fund the primary education?
How are you going? That's why I've asked you, how are you going to maneuver around it?
You see, now, in this country, during Kibaki's time, it was officially stated to us by the PS Joseph Kinyua that a third of the budget is stolen. During Uhuru's time, it was official. He announced to official that there's still 2 billion shillings. We still 2 billion shillings per day. That is 732 billion, which we steal. Apart from stealing that, there's what we call wasteful spendings, like foreign trips, big cars, projects which are thrown here and there with the inflated cost.
Which are not completed.
And then apart from that, every time you read about the Auditor General's report, the corruption pops up that you lose count. Every day there's a scam, there's a corruption. It has become the norm. Now, once you stop that, the Kenya Kwanza government has not given us the right figures, but I think now it's about trillion. During Uhuru's time, it was, So with that one alone, is enough to fund our education up to university. Take this step. We have 290 MPs given 150 million per person for bursary and exit. That stands to 43 billion Kenya shillings. And then we have 1,500 plus MCAs receiving minimum of 6 million shillings. That one converts to 9.5 billion. In total, we are talking about for 53, 52 something. That's enough to fund, because normally the government gives 22 million for tuition per student in boarding school. That's enough to fund 2.4 million students. That alone, maybe without touching anything. So funding primary education itself, the money we collect is enough. Apart from this money that is being stolen, we have what we call the corporates. Don't pay taxes. Whatever they declare that have already played with their books, with book cooking. Some corporates, when they make 10 billion or 30 billion, for example, in the board of directors, they tell the financial officer, please, we want you to declare either 50%, 60%, 70%, and the other, you know how you are going to.
To play with.
That is one. That's alone. All the multinationals in this country do that, most of them. The people who export, those who export, I was once an exporter. When they're exporting to their, what we call them, sister companies, they undervalue the export. That we've exported this at this amount, because that's what they're going to declare during the taxations. You see, we call them invoice discounting. And then apart from that, we have several business and Kenyan people who don't pay taxes. What the KRA collects, according to our estimates, around 45%. So there's a lot of money. That money alone is enough to fund our education up to university. But this is where it gets better. Once a child is born in this country, I will allocate 5,000 to the mother when she walks out of the hospital. 5,000.
Wait. You will allocate 5,000
for birth. Kusema mama asanti and kunywa supu.
So how do you do that?
That's only 5 billion because we have 1 million births. That's 5 billion. That's
so we have got 1 million births every year.
That's 5 billion only.
So what if you decide now that you'll be giving these billions of shillings to the hospitals and then end up.
The medical will be free. We have not touched medical, but they just to give these mothers. And then, when this child is celebrating first anniversary, we will give that child a title of ownership of 100,000 in her account or his account. But this money is not going to be given to them. It's going to be put into trust. We decide whether it's going to be for insurance
trust,
or whatever trust it is, or we are going to use it in deposit, fixed deposit, whatever. That one will be decided. 100,000 invested at an income of 10% plus. After 14 years, that's when the most children go to secondary school. That's now the interest accrued from this 100,000 is going to pay for the secondary school, which is normally 50,000 highest. So this was going to pay for the secondary school. And then up to the university. When this child graduates, on the day of graduation, we'll find how much is left. Half of that money will be given to that person on the graduation day. And then the rest will continue in his or her account for future and for future. That will be retirement benefit. That's what we're going to do. So after 14 years, because first year, that trust, whatever we shall call it, will be holding in 1.4 trillion Kenya shilling for education alone. So funding education is very easy, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one, but I'm still wondering how you'll be doing it, because remember, we'll be having children that have got basic needs, like the children, the lower class. Let me just use that term. We'll be having the lower class and the upper, meaning the upper and the middle. The upper, the richest, and then the middle, and then the lower. So how are you going to balance this so that all these children, or will you just put them at the equal level that every child that is born in Kenya, like every family, gets equal rights?
Every Kenyan has an equal right as a human being. The issue of the gap, because one of the reasons I want to bridge the gap.
Yeah, the gap.
So long as you are a Kenyan, you get free education. Unless now the parent decides to take this child to a higher private school, that's now up to you. But public schools will be free. And we will even collaborate with some private school so that we pay them money to absorb these children. Like what President Ruto said, we were even funding some private universities and then getting placement for our students. So that's something that will be fine-tuned. Yeah, but any Kenyan student, any Kenyan child who will be allocated free education up to university. Yes.
That's good. And what is your take, Honorable, concerning this issue of the JSS? How are you going to handle the junior secondary school and all this? The change in education, whereby right now we don't have the 844 that we used to have, but now it has been turned. How are you going to will you continue with it, or maybe after being elected as the president of the Republic of Kenya, you'll sit down with the education sector and decide that to reform it back to where it used to be?
Personally, I went to school outside this country. I was brought up outside Kenya.
Yeah.
And East Africa, yes. They still, Uganda, Tanzania has maintained the A level.
Yeah, the A level.
Yeah, my child also studies outside. Because I'm of a school thought, I think there was no need. The reason why we went to 844 was to get those the pastoralists who could not
manage
go to A level, and then we brought about what we call quota system. It was a system also at least get to university. So it was tribalistic with intentions to get other communities
also in
because of the competition. But we'll sit down because with the CBC, the owner and the author passed on.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's left us without a blueprint. The parents don't understand it. The teachers don't understand it. The ministers don't understand it. So nobody understands it. We'll have to sit down, because once you mess with the education of a nation, you are messing with the future of that country. So it's something that we'll sit down critically and see what kind of education will suit us for the future development. Yeah.
So, now I just want to go slowly, but I just wanted to digest this issue of education, because it's one of the major things that, because, if you want to deny a child his life, you'll deny him education.
That's right.
And that is why all of us are where we are, because of education.
That's true.
So that is one of the major challenges that is affecting people. We can ignore all these things, but now this issue of education is very critical. Right now, we have got a lot of universities that have been shut down. Like, for instance, we have got, the Moi University, the Laikipia, all of them will be shut down, simply because I don't know whether it's because of the funding or what. So these things, how are we going to make sure that every child that passes or qualifies to go to university will not have the challenges that these ones are having right now? Like the boarding and all that, and then this issue of now the different levels of you need to get this, you don't need to get this simply because your family has this. How are you going to do it?
That's what I'm saying, that now the management we have doesn't have a vision and capability.
Yeah.
They are told what to do. Because we have given our country, because of the debts and lack of prudential management of our resources, we have given our country to be externally managed by the IMF, what we call we call them the Washington consensus. Those are people managing our
the system,
policy.
The system of the policy.
Yeah, but because we can't manage ourselves, because we owe them a lot. So they're the people who are really bringing all this here. But the reason why I want to give free education up to university, when I talk about university, I mean free university, including boarding.
Even the food.
everything. It used to be there before.
So if at all I have a child, or maybe I want to go to university, what I need to do is just to take myself to school and then sit down for the lectures, wait for my exams without any pressure.
Even at your level,
even
when
at
you
my
become
level,
president, and you want to go back to university, you will go back to university free of charge. It will be catered for. And this is not the first country. It has been done before. And you see, during our time, we walked to university. The food was free. The halls were free. And there was what we called boom. You were given pocket money. It was there. The system was working. That's where we want to go back. The first thing I'll do with executive order, the way Ruto did executive order by appointing those judges and transferring the inland Port Mombasa, is that anyone who went to university, the help loan they'll have will be written off immediately. Yes.
So that is your plan.
That's
it's a good one.
So free education is doable. We have all the resources. We have what it takes. And that's what, for a country to develop, you must spur educational growth.
So it's only our main problem is just now the management is the problem.
What we have in this country, as I said earlier, people want government because this notion of our time to eat.
Our time to eat, yeah.
Our time to eat means the taxes we collect is put on the table and shared. They see taxes as a cake. They call it national cake.
National cake.
Yet it is taxes that we pay through sweating.
That is blood. People's money.
That's people's money. But they call it a national cake. And a friend of somebody I had the other day saying that you should come with a knife. They want to sit on the table, not on the menu.
That is the PLO Lumumba. I think he also said it.
That you come with a knife towards the table to cut a share of your national cake.
The national cake.
Yeah. You see, that's the wrong concept. That's the wrong concept. So these people say our time to eat.
Not our time to serve.
They're there to steal the taxes. And as much as you can, and keep it safely as much as you can, and sit on it.
Now, Honorable, tell us about your free comprehensive medical care.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
When I talk of free medical care, there are about 14 countries in the world that provide free medical cover. Free medical care. Cuba, Switzerland, Brunei, Sweden, Canada. There's so many I can't remember of. North Korea. There's several. They provide free medical care. My friend, nobody wants to be sick. And it is something beyond your ability to be sick. When you commercialize sickness, you are signing a death warrant to the citizen. You get an accident. It was not your intention. You have broken limb.
And nobody wants to be sick.
What do you say? Bring money before I admit you. You were not working with that package of money. So that's why we pay taxes, because I cannot hire a doctor, I cannot hire a teacher, I cannot build roads, I cannot get water from the lake to my place. So those are the services why we pay taxes. We are paying taxes so that we get services that we cannot on our own do. So I'm going to provide free medical cover to every citizen. Yes. So the issue is, where are you going to fund? But the question of free medical care, the other countries has done it. In Libya, if the disease you had was not treatable in that country, you were flown outside and paid for. It's the same way. Assuming you have an insurance. How about the NHF?
Yeah, the chief and all that.
The chief, this is already... What happens? You pay when you are sick. When you walk out of the hospital, you don't even given the bill. Somebody pays for it. It's the same way our taxes is supposed to be. I once walked into a hospital. I was admitted for 2 days, and I walked out. And for your information, all my 4 children were born in public hospitals. Once the
delivery is done,
they are told, just sleep. Tomorrow we see, we monitor you. Then she walks away. We never paid the money. So this system is not a rocket science. They were there, but somehow we became the eating chiefs and we messed up. This is a system that was there, and is what I'm going to restore again.
William Ruto talked about the universal healthcare.
William Ruto is a pathetic liar. Yes. Do you still believe him?
I don't know. I can't. I don't believe him.
So, Ruto is a pathetic liar. He lies without because that is his nature, without knowing. So never, you don't even count on Ruto. You don't know which one is the truth and which one is not the truth. So when it comes Ruto, we are where we are because he campaigned on lies and deception because he wanted to get power. So don't even quoting him. If he had performed well, I could not contemplate running. Why should I be president if my country is performing well? But I'm running because he is already taking this country into a ditch. He's not the best example. No. Neither should even be quoted. Honestly. Everybody knows it is a liar.
But Honorable, Ruto told us to live within our means. That is why he's bringing all these things that he's bringing.
Whatever he says, he lies. That is him. You see, you only produce what you are. So that's what he is. So whatever Ruto says, take it with a pinch of salt. But now you don't even, because you don't know which one is which. That's the reality.
So you're in short, you're trying to say that the only truth that William Ruto knows how to say is his name.
Is his name.
Wow. Let us talk about this. I want us to handle these three things because they deal with the funds. And these three things deal with a lot of it's all about money.
Yes.
The 5 million plus jobs per year, and then we connected also the clearing all debts in Kenya. I wanted to handle both of them so that we can cover the issue of money, funds, and all money. So they can ask you the question that combines all of them.
I think no. As I said before, I contemplated running.
Yeah.
I analyzed the Kenyan problems. And as I said, it was education, it was health, it was job, and it was debts, and etc.
Yeah.
The 5 million jobs. Let me start by breaking down.
Just break down,
up to 3 million or 4 million. Or I'm saying 5 million plus. I want to
it's stating 5 million plus jobs.
Plus jobs.
It's per year.
The best presidential candidate I had talk was about 500,000. That was the two. They have not even talked about 1 million. 2022, we had around 15 million people who are not employed. And every year by then, we have 1 million who get ID cards. So if we create anything less than 1 million, we are not going to solve the problem. So my plan is to absorb all these unemployed youth, and then the others, so that this problem is solved once and for all. Let me start by breaking down how. One, immediately I'm elected and sworn in, I have a plan of digging 1 million fish ponds.
Okay.
That includes the cages.
The cages,
We'll put the cages on the lakes and the rivers and then on land. 1 million. That's just a small piece of 20 by 30 meters.
That can serve an area.
All over the country for young men. 1 million. The whole cost maximum, the maximum, because during that time we're always going to pay these young men, is 120,000. So I'm talking of maximum of 120 billion. This fish pond we are going to stock with 5,000 fingerlings for 6 months, 9 months. In certain areas, depend on the climate, the fish grows faster than the other areas. Within 6 to 9 months, we expect that the minimum price we will pay to this young man will be 100 shillings. But it will go up even to 200 shillings. So let's talk with the minimum.
100. Let's talk about 100.
With 100, this young man will have received 500,000. It's a grant. Will have received 500,000.
Just by maintaining the fish pond.
We give him the fingerling, the fish pond, and the animal, and the training, and everything else. We'll buy from him. We are going to create what we call fish marketing something board. He's got a news 500,000. Because the day he harvests it. We are going to process this fish. We expect that 3 fish will give us 1 kg of fillet. And a fillet in the supermarket is 1,000 to 1,200. So we expect to get 1.25 minimum billion kilos of fillet, which we'll export. When we export it to Europe, we talk about fish and chips.
Yeah.
And they don't have enough from fresh water
From the freshwater lake. Yeah.
We even import fish, by the way, from Uganda, China.
Yeah, we also import,
So there's not enough fish in the world. And these are the basics. 1.25 times 2,000. We are talking of 2.5 trillion Kenya shilling in foreign exchange. This is not rocket science. Yeah, 2.5 trillion. Fish alone. And 5 million people employed. Now, in the value chain, those who are going to process the fish, transport the fish, do the fish, that's already hundreds of. You get the point?
Yeah,
so I'm talking of 5 million plus. I've gotten my 2.5 trillion within 1 year.
Within 1 year.
1 year. Is it not a rate to fund whatever
it is.
the deficit and to start paying the debts? That's fish. 100 million jobs given.
So you've already created 1 million jobs plus. Because simply by coming up with the fish pond and all that. Now the 1 million plus youths have gotten
generated, and the youths have gotten 500 billion, which are going to use in the economy. Alcohol, mobile, trade, what you see. So the economy itself going to have stimulus.
So Honorable, per pond, you are going to give just one person to manage.
One person.
Yeah.
By the time he's managing this, we are going to pay him something like 3,000 or depending on to sustain him.
And don't you think that managing a pond one person is a bit difficult?
So long as you put the fingerling, you only feed them in the evening and in the morning. You are done. You can go do other things. That's how fish is done. Simple. Yeah.
It doesn't need a lot of things.
No, you only give whatever the amount. If it's 1 kilo, you pour it and you're done. In the afternoon and in the evening and the morning. Simple. It's only during the harvest that will come to harvest and put it in kilos and pay you your money.
Oh, so now that's what I wanted to know. During the time of harvest, now you send the team to go and harvest
because we are going to buy from them.
But now you send the team plus the money to buy.
Cash. We are going to buy it cash.
And then during the time of harvest, do you take all of them?
We take the whole of, because the issue is we want to export it to get the revenue. Yes.
So, again, after taking every fish from the pond, it will force this boy again to buy.
We gave this young man stimulus. We pushed him like a car that is broken. Then we have pushed him a head start. Now he can do another pond if he likes.
By himself.
And also he can put another, buy the fingerlings and now manage. We have given him a footprint. Yes. We have given him a starting point.
So again, after doing that, now again you'll come and harvest.
It's a continuous. It's a continuous. But we are going to create an already market so that your fish is not rotten because you have no market. That's why we are going to create a marketing. Yes. Do you know what? I was in Kinshasa, July. The fish they consume comes from Lake Victoria. It goes to Brazzaville, Omena. From Brazzaville, it goes to Gabon and Central Africa. From here. And even the fish from Turkana, the majority of people who consume it is Congo, the Eastern Congo. So there's not enough. You get the point?
So you don't have enough, and again we are again exporting.
We don't have enough, and the world doesn't have enough. The market is so big. If I decide just to concentrate on the Middle East,
that one makes sense now.
Now I've given 1 million jobs. Can I go to the camp?
We are remaining now with the 4 million.
The 4 million.
Yeah.
The first time I'm sworn in, I'm going to reduce the working hours, man hours, from 8 to 6. That means you walk into office, government office and public office at 7. By 1 off, the second shift comes from 1 to 7. So I'm going to create immediately. I'm going to create to employ the double what we have.
Double what we have.
But forget about that one. But that's what I'm going to do. So this stress of work related, where you wake up from 5, then you get home at around 8, this stress, and then you are paid peanut, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. That's a peanut. The minimum wages during should be 50. So you get what I'm talking about. So I'm not even talking about that one. I'm going to say we are going to double, including teacher. We are going to double the workforce we have.
So
but that's not part of the 5 million.
It's not part of part of the 5 million. Let me just ask this a quick one before we continue. You said that you'll bring it in such a way that in a day you have got 2 shifts. That is from 7 in the morning to 1.
Yes.
And then that shift goes, and then the second shift comes from 1 or probably from 2 to 7.
Yeah.
So
from
immediately from 1.
Immediately from 1.
From 1. So that is a public. That is a public.
Public and factory. That's going to be the national whatever.
Let's take it for instance in school.
Yeah.
Because the students or the pupils will be from morning
to lunchtime. They go back. Another class comes. And that's going to do what? We have this class that accommodates 60 to 80. Now, we have 2 shifts. Standard 1 comes in the morning and occupies all these classes. Then the other comes in the same class will be occupied by 2 different classes. So this issue of even having congestion in the classes is going to be reduced.
So if you have 100 pupils or students in a class, you divide them by 2.
But you see, we say from standard 1s and 2 and 3, whatever, will be going in the morning. Then from 5 to whatever will be coming in the afternoon.
With the different teachers.
Now you can go do your farm, you can do your music, you can be a taxi driver, you can do whatever now. You have another to do other things. Or if you want to relax, it's up to you. Or you can go take care of your child.
And okay, now that is education. Now
no, that's I'm talking about that is the public.
Oh, the public.
That is what's going to be it. We work 8 hours.
Yeah, we work 8 hours.
So I'm going to say 6 hours. Whether it is factories, 6 hours.
So you are reducing it to 6 hours.
Yes.
Now by 2. Let's say, for instance, now I'm working in an office and my manager or my boss has got a target that he or she wants me to achieve.
Do you know in other countries people are paid per hour? Yes. But let me tell you, if you have been to government offices in the afternoon after lunch, these people already fatigued. They're tired. The level of production
is different from morning.
It's different because they're just now waiting.
The time.
They're not productive. Once they work for these 6 hours, the productivity for this shift might be 2.5 what they normally produce. Why would a passport take you 7 days or 1 month? Why not 2-3 days? Why don't the people who are processing the passport at night, laminating it, do shifts at night? That's all the common sense. Why should you have a title deal taking you 1 week, 2 weeks? Why don't we get other people to do 6 hours? You done this, you are gone, somebody come, then if the work is then this simple 24-hour economy. So that's my plan. But that's not in part of this.
Okay, now let's talk about the 4 million.
Let me talk about the 4 million.
Yeah.
The second 2 million, I'll take 1 million young men and women. I'm going to give them 20 beehives each.
Okay.
20 beehives at a cost of 80,000 maximum. The modern beehive produces 60 kilograms per year. If I give you 20...
Is it per year or per harvest?
No, per year. Just the whole 1
year.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
You harvest after 3 months. The new more.
Now you're into...
Now, with the 20, we expect you to get a maximum of 1,200 kilograms of beehive per person. A kilo of beehive in the supermarket. You see, what we have in this market is not a beehive. It's just a pollen. It's artificial. The one we import. It's not pure. Anyway, that's not, I'm supposed to. It's 800 shillings. We're going to buy per kilo from you for 500 shillings. We are not going to leave you at the mercies of the brokers. No. We are going to manage that, control. 500 times 1,200, you'll get your 600 shillings. Would you go selling socks for 50 bob or diamond in the street? No. You can do it as fun. Because
it does not even take a lot of time of your time.
Look at it this way, Mweshimiwa. You only feed your fish in the morning and the evening, and you have all the other time to do what you
can do other things.
Once you put your bees somewhere, you don't even feed them. So long as there's trees and water around.
And then you plant a lot of trees with flowers.
That is it. That is it. But after 1 year, how much do you have? 600,000 minimum. Imagine we are processing 1.2 billion kilos of. You are packing this into 1 kg and half a kg and a quarter, putting the labels on each. Are you seeing the amount of workforce that's been involved within a year? Are you seeing that? Then the transportation. Then exporting them to Lamu. I was saying this one we are not going to import it because we're going to clog the Mombasa port. This one will go through Lamu. The trailers you count. You look at it. And then out of the 800 per kg, we are talking of another 1 trillion from the honey
Alone.
revenue. What is that not going to do? Another 1 trillion. And 2 million direct jobs. We have not dealt with the indirect, the printing, the factories of the bottling.
This one is a direct job.
This is a direct job, stress-free.
And in fact, we can call it a self-employment. Because
to me, it is an employment. Whatever you want to call it.
It's an employment. You've given us jobs.
Whatever you want.
It's up to us now to call it a name that you want.
No. Meaningful jobs. Decent jobs. That's another 2 million.
2 million.
And you know the return? I will only use 80 billion. 80 billion plus 120 billion, 200 billion, which is pocket change for Ruto and the likes. I've created 2 million jobs, direct jobs, with a turnover of trillions. You get what I mean?
I get you.
With a turnover of minimum of trillions. I'm not counting the indirect. Do you need the third one? Or that's enough for you?
No, that's enough. Let us continue. That's enough. Now we're remaining with the other 2 million.
You wanted the 2 billion again. I want you. That's
no. Let us consume it. We need to. I need to know how you're going to balance this 5 million plus. And remember, it is 5 million plus, not just
Plus.
5. Yeah.
That's why I'm not counting the value chain.
Yeah. So we are expecting that within these 2 million, you can tell us about the extra 1 or 5.
Fine.
Yeah.
The 1 million I brought about reducing, that one I'm not even counting.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's why it is a plus. The 1 million young men again, those who are not employed. I'm going to identify a plot of 50 by 100 all over the country and do drip irrigation. 1 million all over the country. That's only 250,000 acres, actually.
So you're going. Just finish.
I will give drip irrigation and then we'll control. With drip irrigation, you can grow anything within 12 months. We are going to control nyinyi potatoes, nyinyi vegetables, nyinyi cabbages, so that there's no flood in the market. Now, once we do drip irrigation, which is going to cost, actually, it's going to cost about 30,000.
35.
Because 1 acre is about 90 to 120. So this is just 1/8 of, or we can do a quarter, depends on
depending on the ability of the.
But 1 million. Now with 1 million, after 3 months, if you draw cabbages or vegetables, you should start harvesting, getting something like 10,000, 20,000. You get the onion, whatever. So we are already including an employment of another 3 million. And do you know we import onions from TZ? Do you know we don't have the other onions, garlic? Do you know we import so many things? So if I do this, that's part of the food security and employment.
And let me ask you, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
Talking about acquiring land, where are you going to get this land? Because right now everybody's owning a land and have got title deeds.
Do you know the acreage of the Kenyan marshland? We are not going to snatch it. We are going to hire it. If you have land, we are going to hire it. Those plots in this town which are not built, we are going to pay you to acquire this land. You have a plot in wherever for 20 years, you have failed to build it, so we are going to give you money.
And how can someone trust a government or office or anybody in the government with the land? Because we know very well that the government are always land grabbers or snatchers.
You see, we say the devil is in the details. This is the vision. Just like say I want to build a 3-bedroom house. There's an architect, then a contractor, then an electrical engineer, then a plumber. So this is the concept of the president. The team will put what we call the Lego framework. and see how it's going to work. That is it. This is what I want.
So you're
implemented.
You're going to identify a
But
land?
we're going to, no. We want 1 million plots or an aid all over the country to do drip irrigation for whether contract of 5 or 10 years for these young men, because this is what I'm calling short-term measures. We have short-term
measures,
and long. But now what I'm doing is to make sure that everybody is employed. This is short.
So you are creating job employment
for these people.
for these people.
Yeah.
Now we are talking about the three. Okay.
Minus
these ones that
the harvest and all that. Transportation. After this, we are already talking of now the 4 million.
Yeah, the 4 million.
Are you convinced?
I'm convinced. Is
it doable?
Yeah. Now let us talk about now the clearing debts. Because
now you are.
No, I'm okay with that.
You don't need the 4th.
I don't need the 4th.
But you know this.
Yeah. Now
you are convinced.
I've known the plan. I've seen the plan. The plan is there. It's so good.
Then